Every month on YouTube, there are 4.75 million searches for the term artificial intelligence. So there's no denying that AI is becoming more popular by the day. But do you know what it is? Today, I'll explain to you in simple terms what AI is. Here are the timestamps. Feel free to skip around. Let's talk about the common terms you might have already heard. Artificial intelligence is about embedding human intelligence into machines, aka computers. Machine learning is a subset of AI, and it's a technical practice of creating machines to learn tasks on their own. Deep learning is a type of ML algorithm that uses deep layer neural networks to learn tasks on its own. But there are many other ML algorithms out there. So you might be wondering, is there such thing as AI that is not machine learning? Yes, there is. And these are called expert systems, which is just a fancy term for flowchart or decision trees, which use an if-then-else logic. An example would be a customer service chatbot for your electric company. The chatbot would start the conversation by saying, "How can I help you?" And it'll present you with 3 to 4 options to select from. And based on the option you pick, you'll be presented with more options. So as you can see, this chatbot lacks the ability to chat with you using free flow text. So the responses are pretty much hard-coded in. Now let's talk about machine learning. You might think that it is very similar to programming, and you'd be right, except for one subtlety. So in programming, you provide the computer with an input and the rules, and it'll give you an output. An example is telling your computer to calculate 1 plus 1, as well as teaching it how to calculate a sum. Whereas in machine learning, you provide it with an input and the desired output, and the computer has to figure out the rules to get to the output. Now we can talk about the 3 types of machine learning algorithms. There is supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. Supervised learning is when you've got labeled data set to train your algorithms. Common uses of supervised learning is cancer detection in X-rays, detecting road marks in the Tesla autopilot system, and detecting whether an image contains a dog or a cat. In all of these examples, the humans have gone through the initial effort of labeling the images to show the algorithm exactly what to look for. So in the case of detecting cat or a dog, we've got a sample of images that humans have gone through and labeled whether there's a cat or a dog in the image. So as you can imagine, this is a highly labor and cost-intensive process. Let's talk about unsupervised learning. This is training an AI algorithm using unlabeled data. You simply provide the algorithm with data, and its job is to cluster the data into meaningful patterns. In this case, the algorithm has no idea what to look for, and this is very different to the supervised learning we just talked about. A great example of unsupervised learning is Netflix's TV show and movie recommendation system. After you start rating shows and movies on Netflix, the recommendation system is clustering you with people that watch similar content to you. So it's able to recommend you movies and TV shows that other people have watched that belong to the same cluster as you. And finally, let's talk about reinforcement learning. This form of ML is geared towards improving an algorithm's performance based on a reward system. For example, let's say you're browsing the news on bestnews.com. So bestnews.com recommends you a range of news articles, and behind the scenes there is a reinforcement learning algorithm that is penalizing or rewarding the recommender system based on what you click. So if you click an article, the recommender system gets 1 point. But if you don't click a certain article, then a point is subtracted from the recommendation system. The recommender system wants to maximize the score given by the reinforcement learning algorithm. This incentivizes the recommender to show you articles that are the best for you. So these are the 3 categories of ML algorithms out there. Now in the next video, I'll go a little bit deeper into the different types of algorithms in each of the categories. But for now, let's quickly discuss the stage of AI development that we're in. So there's 3 stages or types of artificial intelligence. intelligence. So currently, we have only achieved artificial narrow intelligence. So far, all of the AI algorithms that I've discussed are very good at learning and executing a single task. Let's take the example of our cat or dog predictor. So that algorithm can easily tell you whether there's a cat or a dog in a particular image. But if you were to tell the algorithm to become a chatbot to converse with humans, then it wouldn't be able to execute that task. That brings us to artificial general intelligence, which is the intelligence that mimics human intelligence, and it also has the ability to understand the thinking and emotions of human beings. And then finally, you've got artificial superintelligence. So this type of intelligence can not only mimic human intelligence, but it can also surpass it to the extent that they can build systems that can influence human beings. Now, when we talk about artificial superintelligence, you might be getting Skynet vibes. But it's really hard to say what a future with artificial superintelligence looks like. So that's it for today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next week.